Hello, eavesdroppers. Welcome back to another pop culture tarot reading. I hope you all are feeling like $1,000,000. On today's episode, we are going to do a reading on the late, great Hayden Panettiere. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, who unfortunately passed away 2 days ago. Don't know the circumstances of her passing just yet. Just kind of want to pull some cards on energy surrounding her passing, her untimely demise, and what possibly could have happened. Why do we find ourselves here? As people who are fans of her work, who are familiar with her work. Let's see what's going on. Everything I said is reading as alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I have no proof, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay, so when it comes to the passing of Hayden Panettiere, let's see what's behind it. Let's just take a look at her energy. Her last day here on Earth. What was going on with her? Okay, she's showing me public shame, some kind of embarrassment or humiliation or disgrace, and it takes me automatically to the idea or the memory, I'm sorry, of an interview she did with Jay Sheedy on YouTube, where she talked about some of the issues with trafficking in the industry, how she was a young girl and she trusted a woman who, put her in harm's way. We're going to have to speak in code. This could be that, the backlash from her shaming, calling names, if she called names. I didn't watch the interview, but I did see a little snippet of it. So this feels to me like it could also be a fallout of her own humiliation, embarrassment for some of the things that she may have had to do in the industry, just where she found herself recently. Okay, let's see more. This could also be that someone did this to humiliate her. This could be a humiliation ritual. Okay, we have primal. So this shows me that there's something. I feel like there's a masculine energy here that could be directly involved or indirectly involved. This is something that goes back to her earlier days in the industry. She's much younger. This is what she's showing me. That last day of her life, there was some kind of shame or humiliation connected to something from the beginning, the origins of her career. Okay, show me more. What was going on that day? She had issues. Okay. What else? What were your issues about? Insincerity. Two-faced people, fake, deceptive energy, disingenuous energy, and hypocritical energy. It's the traditional, typical child star story. She's considered a child star. She's been around for a long time. She was only 36 years old, just days away from her 37th birthday. Wow. So, I remember seeing an interview with MC Hammer, and MC Hammer, I don't know if you all were alive when MC Hammer had his heyday, but he was a big deal and he had a large entourage and he was taking care of everybody from his community. He wanted everybody to go with him, and that drained him and that depleted his resources. And I saw an interview where someone asked him, "What is the most expensive thing you have ever bought?" And he said, "Other people's stories." I feel like that's kind of what she's telling me here, being trusting, being naive and gullible in an industry that eats its young, chews you up and spits you out. Show me more. Okay, she's talking about some accounts, testimonies, a narrative, a recollection in her version of the story. So this has something to do with that book, that memoir, that tell-all book that she wrote, allegedly. Wow. Show me more. And she says she was doing a lot of spiritual bypassing, toxic positivity for a long time. Every time I've seen her, prior to that interview that I saw, that little snippet of that interview with Jay Sheedy, she's always smiling. Every picture I see of her, she's smiling. She seems to have a very pleasant demeanor, but she's saying I was carrying it around a lot. And when I got this off of me, it felt like a relief, but I knew it would bring the wolves. I knew it would bring some kind of humiliation, some kind of danger. She knew this. Her instincts told her that something could happen. Now, I'm not saying anyone did anything to her, but there's a possibility. She could not live in that bubble anymore. Okay, she said there were indicators. Indicators of what? Indicators of some leftover residual energy. So even though she put this out in her book, she talked about it. She felt like she had gotten it off of her, but there were residuals. So she was never fully free of it. I see more. She said she was being watched, she was being monitored and observed and tracked. Okay, what's going on here? And she felt abandoned, maybe by the industry or maybe just in general as a person. I don't know if she had any issues with addictions. The little clip I did see of her, she seemed a little somber. I had never seen her like that before. And she seemed to be speaking at a very slow pace, almost like she could have been under the influence of something, but that could have been medication, like prescription medication. Show me more. Okay, so she was leading the charge here. She took charge. She felt like she needed to be upfront about something. She feels like she was a trailblazer. Okay, well, did this cost you your life? She could have also been about to start a new project. Yeah, she said good versus evil. So she spearheaded a mission here. She pioneered, from her point of view. She felt like she was at the helm of a campaign of good versus evil. So she may have had even more things that she wanted to talk about. She was not going to stop. She was at that stage of her life where she was feeling powerful and like she needed to take down this monster machine that had done her dirty before. Okay, what else? Yeah, she wanted to demolish and destroy, and she felt like she was, fighting a losing battle. She felt like she was like David and Goliath for sure. She feels like she's in a minority. There's so many other people that go along with the Hollywood game, and she was just tired of it. It was tainting her soul. Okay, she said something is hidden and undisclosed about her death. Okay, let's see. Was there someone else involved? She says yes. She says there was cooperation, a united front, and there was teamwork. Wow. There's a group of people here and pressure. They were pressuring her. Stress, strain, tension, force, weight, physical squeeze or pushing. I wonder if someone physically pushed or squeezed her. We have waiting and witness. She says there was a witness, an onlooker, someone who observed, viewed, or noticed. She's talking about testifying and attesting to. That could also be that she was a witness to things in Hollywood, and this could be why she's no longer here. I don't want to speculate because I do want to say, even if it comes back that she died, it's not going to be natural causes. She's way too young for that. I mean, it's possible, but it usually is not going to be someone that young dying of natural causes. I feel like this could actually be telling me that if, in fact, it does come back that, oh, well, she had an aneurysm. Y'all know the usual suspects. Oh, she did drugs and she OD'd. Y'all know how they do it. They'll blame her, but I don't think she was the cause of her own death. We will get those answers, though. So, Hayden, when it comes to this person that saw this or participated in this, what do you want to tell us about them? That they sabotaged her, they undermined, destroyed, and ruined her. Wow. And she said this was a resource war. This was an economic or political rival and a rivalry over limited materials, ecological conflicts driven by degradation and scarcity, competing for access to commodities. So this feels to me like somebody else may be in the industry. This is about resources. This is about you messing up the money. Show me more. She said there's applause, a celebration and cheering on. So this, and she said there was a cause for alarm. There were dangerous implications and a cause for concern. So she knew something was coming. And she wanted to make forward progress, but she was feeling drained. She felt like being in the industry, she could not be in the industry unless she played the game. And it left her at a stalemate. Because when you have a love of something, a passion for something, but you know that you have to be in, the lion's den, the devil's lair in order to have access to it, that can present, some issues here where you cannot progress forward. So something stopped her progression forward because She knew that she had to play the game and she didn't want to. We have a messiah. That could be somebody with a God complex. We have race and racial. And we have together. I feel like she seems to have had a really good heart. I mean, obviously I don't know her personally, but never heard anything bad about her. And I'm pretty good at reading people's energy. She seemed to be a light. So she was technically a Leo Virgo cusper because she's on the last day of Leo season. So she's a combination of fire and earth. Just seems to be a very unproblematic woman who just wanted to work and do what she wanted to do here. Okay, she could be telling me here that I don't know what her issues, what this means about race and racial issues, but together means to me that she was an inclusive person. In fact, she has inclusive here, that she's a welcoming person. She's a universal person. She's an open-hearted person. Okay, let's get this other deck here and let's see something. What was the cause of your death? What was the cause of your death? She said there were signs, there were divine messages, inclinations. So inclinations is here twice. Nudges, intuitive nudges, synchronicity, downloads, and guidance from the spirit realm. So she was being warned that this was coming. She said there were trivial matters, things that didn't matter much, something small or ordinary, or very little importance and easy to forget minor details. I really do believe they may come out and say she did something to harm herself. She took some pills. She did something like that. And I'm not saying that's not possible. That's not impossible because it is possible. It just kind of feels like a heavy energy of like not wanting to go on any longer. Like when those moments just finally just become so much, it just becomes too much of a burden to go on any further. I feel like she was almost feeling called to the spirit realm, but is there someone else that did something here? I'm seeing the powers that be. I'm seeing a chain of command, a power structure in a system. Okay, she said it's them, it's other people, things, animals, them, they, him, or her, or it. Okay, so there's somebody else involved. That could even be somebody that supplied drugs or supplied pills. Like it doesn't have to be what we think. She ignored the signs. She felt something coming. Even if that was her own mental health slipping, she thought she could push through it. But she said she was disturbed. What were you disturbed by? A destiny swap. Wow. Now I'm wondering if they're about to elevate someone else in Hollywood. I don't know if she was actively working, but whomever they're replacing her with, maybe on a TV show or some project she was working on, because I do see something here about possibly working on a project before this happened. But she's saying here this was a glory theft, hijacking someone else's fate or the fate or birthright of a collective group, psychological mimicry and spiritual warfare. Okay, so she was disturbed by spiritual warfare. She's talking about a drone and surveillance, being bothered by a drone watching her, following her. Okay, she's saying that this is inorganic. It was unnatural, an unnatural death. Like I said, this would not be a natural death at this age. She's showing me lifeless energy here, but she's saying it's man-made. Wow. Show me more. Okay, she says immortality. She has eternal, everlasting life. She said death is not real. I love that. And so she says she's timeless and endless right now. I love that. Okay, she's completed her mission. We have the word mission here, an objective, assignment, a task, goal. She's immortalized herself by working and fulfilling her purpose in front of that camera. Okay. So she said this was a journey and she's been commissioned to complete it and she's completed it. She did her duty on earth. Okay, so she said this is manipulation and control or weaponization of information to gain a strategic or psychological advantage. She said there's going to be a lot of disinformation and propaganda around her death and cyber tactics to influence public opinion and undermine the trust and destabilize opponents. Wow. So she's talking about institutions here and conspiracy theories. Okay, so what do you want to say about the conspiracy theories? Because people are already speculating that the industry did this to you. What do you want to say about that? She said that's strange, odd, peculiar, unfamiliar, and unique. And ice. Okay, so this is about hardening, solidifying, and stealing something. Stealing something. Stark duality, preservation, clarity and stillness, emotional detachment, stagnation, a hardened heart. A sacred pause, deep reflection, and winter of the soul before new growth. It is very possible that maybe someone put pressure on her. Maybe they used some type of tactics to pressure her into possibly, harming herself. Hopefully not. Even if it is something that she did, whether that be that, this was abuse of some kind of prescription drugs or some kind of unfortunate overdose situation, the reality is the what do you call it? The nucleus of this is still not about her. It's other people and what has happened to her up to this point. So it's an indirect, like I said before, it's maybe not a direct hit on her, but it's an indirect hit because of years of abuse. What do you want to tell your friends, your family, your fans, your supporters? She's pointing out the light codes, the energetic frequencies, the geometric symbols, the spiritual information meant to trigger consciousness shifts, or upgrade the DNA. Okay. Seems like she's having a ball in the astral realm. She's learning a lot about the secrets of the universe. Show me more. She said, I'm still here. She's saying that she's extroverted. She's also telling people to live their lives to the fullest. Go for what you want. Don't wait. Live your life because you never know when it's going to be taken away from you. She's showing up as sociable, friendly, talkative. Okay, so she says legal. Just right and within the confines of the law, so do things the right way. And maybe that's even a sign that maybe somebody needs to pursue something legally. She's pointing out the anatomy, the physical structure, the human body, a detailed analysis in the makeup of someone or something, their form, their composition, their framework, their build, their frame, and their physique. Now, physique. I'm wondering if she's saying something here that somebody needs to look into about her body. What's going on with your body? Is this about your body? Okay, so she's pointing out heaven. So she's like, I've transcended earth. I'm in the spirit realm now. Okay, show me a little bit more. Okay, so she doesn't want anybody who supports her to be negative, to be hopeless. She wants you to live your life. She wants her family, her friends, and anybody who's, a fan of hers, a supporter of hers, to live their lives. But she is saying that there was a little bit of gloom and doom before she left here, and it was fatalistic. This is why I'm saying it is possible that this was something that could have been done due to choices that she made, but I don't think it's that she's the root cause of it. She's not. She's giving us a warning. What is the warning about? Information and ammunition. She's saying they are weaponizing information. Okay, so information, data, news, facts, details about something, scoop, report, inside news, collected for analysis, and a detailed account of an event. Obviously, we know she wrote the book. Obviously, we know there are people talking about her right now, but she's saying that this is material that's being fired, scattered, dropped, or detonated from a weapon. Anything used to project force against a target. Now, I'm wondering, like I said before, they have all kind of weapons out here. That could have been something that was done to affect her health. Believe it or not, they have weapons that can affect your heart health, your brain health. Wow. She said that people are wearing masks and they have techniques. Something could have been planted, or someone in her energy, her environment. Okay, let me get some tarot and see what she wants to say. Hey, what do you want to say about your passing, your untimely demise? We have the Two of Wands. This is planning, y'all. The King of Wands, the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups. And I do notice she has lost a brother. This is the brother here. The Knight of Cups is a brother. She's pointing out the men in the industry. Fire sign, water sign in particular. She's pointing out when she was in her prime. I mean, she technically was still kind of in her prime. But what is the plan here with the Two of Wands? Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Something she's been planning for a long time. Trying to heal, but what happened? The Three of Wands, another card of planning, patiently waiting. It wasn't getting better. Her mental health wasn't getting better. She wanted to be happy. She wanted to feel happy again. But the Tower moment happened. Okay, so that's like a sudden shift here. An abrupt ending. Tower can represent a fall, can represent sudden health ailments just coming out of nowhere, symptoms popping up out of nowhere, something to do with the brain, an aneurysm, a stroke, a hemorrhage, something with the brain. That could even be a collapse of the mental health. Wow. So she's been struggling with this for a long time with the Knight of Pentacles. It's been a long time coming, and she kept trying to find her footing again and regain her balance, but everything felt unstable. And the Tower moment happened, and it was the point of no return. Okay, what do you want to say about these men in the industry? The fire sign, water sign. The Emperor, she's saying that they are the powers that be. They are in charge. What about them? The structure, the foundation of the industry. The Eight of Wands. She felt pressure. She felt like everything moved fast. She felt like her youth was stolen. What else do you want to say here? She's saying this is widespread. Yeah, the Knight of Swords. So she's saying I stood up against them. I pushed back. I spoke up. And what happened as a result of that? She's also saying there's so much more I could have said that I didn't say. Yeah, Page of Cups, they stole my innocence. Like I said before, she's thinking about her childhood, her upbringing in the industry, and the way that these men allegedly take advantage. And she's like, I stood up. I was afraid, but I stood up anyway. And I was an innocent child, and I deserve to just be able to work and do my passion without having people violate me. Wow, this pisses me off. Let's see what else. We have the World card. So she's saying that this is a global problem. This goes far beyond just Hollywood. She enjoyed her fame while she had it. And then the High Priestess, she's saying there's a lot of secrets that these men, they put women through a lot. They don't respect the divine feminine. She's saying that this was, her conclusion. And now she's beyond the veil. She's in the spirit realm, the High Priestess. She's learning so many new mysteries. She's uncovering so much about life. A beautiful soul. She seems to have a beautiful soul. But she's saying there's secrets here. Secrets here that other people won't speak up on because they don't want to lose their place, their fame. What do you want to say about your brother? I'm hearing like reunited with her brother. I don't know if her brother passed 9 years ago. I'm getting ready to look it up. But I'm seeing the Nine of Pentacles here. You have the Eight of Swords. Did he pass away from mental health issues or? And then we have the Six of Cups. Yeah, they are reunited. That's siblings. Six of Cups is the brother and the sister. So she's saying I'm back with my brother. Scorpio energy, Pisces energy. I want to look up when her brother passed away. I know her brother passed away before her. Her poor family. I don't know if her parents are still alive, but that's just awful. So let's see when he passed away. So when did he pass away? Oh no, he just passed away 3 years ago. He was 28 years old. He had an enlarged heart. Interesting. Because you got the King of Hearts. I'm sorry, the Knight of Hearts, the Knight of Cups. Jansen. Oh, okay. So he was a Libra. I just saw the Queen of Swords when I looked at the bottom of the deck. Wow. He was so young. Okay, so maybe this is something that runs in their family, or they'll try to use that as an excuse. Okay, she had some guilt over her brother's passing. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Well, she's reunited. She's out of the guilt, the Eight of Swords. She's free from that. She set herself free from that. And they are reunited. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing the Four of Swords here. I don't know if he was in the hospital or what. And then the Queen of Swords, which would be her brother. Kind of feel like they're back in union with each other. And it's like a really sweet feeling here. It's healing. Okay. So, did you want to say anything about your mind state? Your mind state? Your mind state the last day of your life. Okay. She's saying Page of Swords energy. She was a little on guard. She was a little on guard. Okay. She felt like she was being watched, like she said before. I don't know if she was active on social media. That card can represent communication online. But remember, she talked about the information and watching the moon. Okay, so there was some secrets here. Okay, something happened in the dark. I don't know if she passed that night or what, but the moon is the dark of night, and it's showing me here she knew a lot of secrets, y'all. She knew a lot. She took some things to the grave with her. She had some fear. Strength card in reverse. She was getting weak, and that is connected to the heart. So I don't know if she has an issue with the heart as well. And the moon is obviously emotions as well. She could have been a bit paranoid. Yeah, the Four of Pentacles here with the Knight of Wands. She had a lot of fight inside of her, but she just couldn't get past some of her experiences. Yeah, the Four of Cups is here. She started to just emotionally check out. She felt a bit apathetic. Three of Cups. She could have been missing her brother. And we have the Three of Pentacles. I knew it was going to come up. Three of Pentacles is 3 years. Yeah, that and is connected to the heart in reverse. Her brother had a bad heart. An enlarged heart. The Strength card reverse is heart problems. And it's falling right under the Three of Pentacles, which is 3 years ago when he passed away. Wow. She had a lot of grief about him. I see it here. She was a little bit not herself ever since he passed. No matter how much work she may have done, she never fully healed from it. Yeah, Four of Pentacles, she was holding on to it. I don't know if something is significant about the mother. I'm seeing the Empress here. I do believe she has a daughter. She could have held on for some years here because of her child. Yeah, she felt very defeated. We had the Ten of Swords. She felt betrayed. And some of her choices kind of haunted her, even though it wasn't her fault. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe.